Hey guys, this is Kevin Milburn, and this is Let's Talk Caregiving with Kevin Milburn. I am so excited to be here with you on tonight, just not only to talk about caregiving on tonight, but to talk about the fourth annual Caregivers Conference that'll be taking place on Saturday, November 16th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, that's Saturday, November 16th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. In the city of Carson, in Carson, California. And I want to encourage you guys to register, get your seat. It's going to be an amazing conference. I have so many great guests that are going to be with me on this conference. And I'm excited to invite all of you in on November 16th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I got this vision. For those of you who don't know, I am the author of Me, Mom, and Alzheimer's, and I was on the caregiving journey and understood and understand the complexities of caregiving. And so when I was a caregiver, there wasn't many resources out there. And so I felt alone, I felt by myself, and on so many different levels. But I was inspired to not only host, but to host an event and create an event, a safe space for caregivers. And so I'm excited about this year's conference, but because we've got some great speakers, some great information for you, a place where you can just oosa. Yes, so if you're a caregiver out there, I want you at the conference. Please, please, please get there. It's for you. It's gonna be a special time. There's a community out there that you need to be connected to, so that you know that you're not by yourself. There are resources for you. There are things out there for you, so that you're not by yourself, or you're not emptied where you can't. You need someone to pour into you sometimes. So anyway, again, guys, the conference is on Saturday, November 16th. November 16th. I'm so excited about tonight. I'm full of bubbles. But anyway, November 16th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Be there, get there. Registration is on Eventbrite, and we want to see you there and to partner with you and have this great experience. So anyway, on tonight, I'm honored to have a special guest, our sister, my wife and I. This is our sister, Promise Freeman, who is just an amazing. Not only she's our sister, she's the mother of two great young our godsons, and we love them, and we love Promise and their journey, feeling sincere. Those are our kids. We're a community, we're a village, and so we're just honored on tonight when I asked Promise to be a part of this conference. And I was like, listen, people need to hear your story, because there's so many people in this space, and we don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about it. So, here again, those of you that are just tuning in, this is Let's Talk Caregiving with Kevin Milburn. And we're going to have the discussion on tonight. I don't want to tell Promise's story. However, one sincere is on the spectrum, and so I want to have the conversation with my sister tonight, so that we know what's appropriate, because there's a lot of people who deal with this, and you don't know how to talk about it, you don't know how to have the conversation, and it's like, what do you say? How do you address it? How do you talk about it? And so this is Let's Talk Caregiving with Kevin Milburn. I'm going to ask you all a favor on tonight. If you can share this, like this is going to be some great information on tonight. Again, Promise is going to be a part of the conference, so you'll get to hear more. So I'm not going to let her give all the nuggets tonight, but I'm going to definitely tap in, and we're going to have some real things, and then you guys are going to be able to ask some questions on tonight. So I want to encourage you to log in. We're live on Facebook, we're live on Milburn and Associates Entertainment Group.com, on YouTube, and so guys, I'm just excited. So guys, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our sister, Promise Freeman. Promise, hey!
Hi.
How are you, sis?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. First of all, I've got to thank you for being a part of this. being a part of the conference, but really like shedding light on your journey and like really like I have family members like for years that have had this subject, but we never had the conversation, like, and I think that's one of the things we're going to be dealing with in the conference, making sure that you know who your village is and being able to communicate to your village. The people don't communicate to you, so you don't know how to help. You don't know how to navigate. You don't know which way to go. And so tonight, it's really about connecting the dots when it comes to, is it fair to say autism? Is that, can we use that word or?
Yeah, we can use autism.
Okay. And so I'm gonna give you the platform in just a second, but I want those of you that are impacted in this area, I want you to share, like, get your friends on here, tell them that you need to hear this, and then I encourage you to play this back, and then also be at the conference. Promise is going to be at the conference, and she's going to be empowering us and taking us to the next level, giving us knowledge and wisdom on how we can navigate, for those that are in the situation and feel like they're by themselves. You're not by yourself. There's a community out there who can give you information, resources, and help you and be a support system. So, Promise, can you just give me like a little bit of your story, and how you found out about Sincere? Just give your story. This is your platform. This is your moment. So I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you. So I have Sincere. He's 4 now. He was diagnosed like right before he turned 2, with autism level 3, and global developmental delay. So I had concerns way before he was diagnosed. He was, I guess, what we would call like a normal baby, healthy birth weight, healthy pregnancy. And then he would talk, eye contact, he would engage, he would play, nothing really too concerning before he hit around like 10 months. So then 10 months came, and, the teeth kind of like the noises, the sounds he would make was not of a typical 10-month-old. And there were times where he would talk, and then one day he just like suddenly stopped talking. And so then I went to the doctor, and I was like, well, I have more no's on this checklist than I do yeses. When you go for a 12-month checkup, they ask you, like, does the baby say mama, dada? Does the baby, cow, give eye contact, follow directions, things like that. And everything was pretty much no. So then I received like a referral for speech and OT, and, for people that don't know, usually like general peds, that's not like their specialty, right? Like neurodevelopmental delays. So they kind of just have like their own checklist too, right? So they just send you to speech and OT, and you kind of just like go from there. So at that time, I just felt like we were very like unseen, like, all right, well, we can't really do anything for you, So spent time, we went and seen speech, and we started off with speech. We didn't care too much for the first place, but there was a lady at the front desk that was so nice to us. She was like, well, why don't you check out this other place? And Sincere was able to get a referral to Therapy West for speech and occupational therapy. And he's been doing that since about 13 months. He has the same therapist. He's been doing really well, really thriving. He goes to a private therapeutic preschool. He has ABA therapy. That's pretty much where they teach the child how to behave socially, like what's socially appropriate, follow directions, assist with verbal communication, and like social engagement and things like that. But it's been a journey, like it's rolling up your sleeves and really having to fight. And the system is like very broken, and you have to create your own pathway because there's not one that's laid out for you, right? Sure. So it's really unfortunate. And God bless Sincere, because he does have a good pathway, and now he boxes and he swims and he plays the piano.
Yes, Sincere.
And all of this is good for like cognition and engaging socially. All of this is just really helping him to really get those words out, you know. It's scary, right? Like you're talking and then one day you just stop talking.
Sure.
You know, so not only me as a parent, but Sincere, the person that's dealing with it,
Right.
you know, and everyone around us too, like his brother, you know, making sure he's not the glass child. Like you have to like be able to fulfill everyone's needs, you know?
Right. So let me ask you this. So I deal with another organization in the entertainment industry who deals with children with autism. And one of the things they said at one of the workshops is that most parents don't take their kids to get checked out because they feel as if and when they find out, they feel like it was something that they did, the reason of that their child is like this. And so it's hard for them to move in the direction for the child, to help the child, because there's this guilt that they have. And so can you like speak to a little bit of that? Like, was there any guilt, or did you feel like why me, or like what, you know?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I still feel like that. Not so much like why me as the mom, but like why does this little person have to deal with this? But I did, you know, I felt like alienated. I felt very like lonely. I remember the day that I got his diagnosis. I was actually at Philip's, my oldest son's football practice, and I was in the parking lot. And when she gave me the diagnosis over the phone, I just remember driving around the parking lot in a circle multiple times, just around and around and around, because it's just like, well, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does this mean? You know, did I do something wrong? So I can understand that, you know, why it takes people so long to try to get a diagnosis or to get help or ask for help. But the flip side of that is that you end up doing yourself and the child a disservice.
Right.
Because the earlier you start, the better chance that they have, right?
Yeah.
And it is having those uncomfortable conversations, and sometimes feeling uncomfortable in public if your child is not behaving how society says they behave. You know what I'm saying? Like, but who cares? Like, you're doing the footwork, you know, to give them what they need. But I urge parents to, like, if you see a regression or if you see something different, get out there and like call the doctor and say like, hey, like this is not normal. If you don't want to see us, like give us a referral.
Yeah. Not be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
You have to, it's like being in a boxing ring, really, you know, and just really throwing those punches.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting for me, like I've got some friends and even family that we talk to, and I think it's sometimes they put on the thing of like maybe embarrassment, you know, like and so like
shame,
you know, and the thing of it is like I did a session with a family, and I'm like, you know, I get what you're feeling, but in this big old world, you're not the only person that has dealt, you know what I'm saying? Because you're by yourself and you think like, oh snap, like, you know, and so it was even talking with them, getting over the hump of embarrassment to remind you, you're not by yourself. There's resources out there. There's people out there. And I think what I'm learning, and I don't know if you might agree, that it is important to connect to people that might have like a support system, but a support system, like for me, when I was in caregiving, taking care of my mother, I went to a support group. And in the support group, I didn't realize, okay, my mother has dementia, but there are some people in this circle that's got the same situation, but just a different story, you know? And so that was a good like aha moment for me. It still made me have to I was dealing with everything in my own way, but it also made me realize that I wasn't the only one with this story. And so how do you how do you navigate and help? Like I love what you said. You were like, you took him to the doctor and you was like, okay, no, okay, so then A, B, C, D, elemental P, like, but that's your personality. I mean,
Yeah.
like the feel that you have, like, you're not gonna let no water just sit underneath. You're gonna be like, that water ain't supposed to be sitting there, it's supposed to be moving, you know.
Right.
And so if you don't know, you're gonna find out because you're resourceful. And so I think in encouraging people to, one, not be embarrassed, to look into this and go, hey, this is something, recognizing, because we could all use that lesson. You say recognize, and there are certain things we don't pay attention, whether it be anything. I think we should be more aware of things, and then relationally. So let me ask you this: how is your support system?
I have a good support system. I've had to, I mean, because it was like a shock to everyone, right? And you know, I have spent a lot of time like connecting with people. I remember one of the first people that really helped me was one of the nurses that I work with, and her son, he has autism, but he's a teenager now, and she basically was like, you got to do this, this, and this. And I remember from that conversation, it was, don't take no for an answer, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Okay, wait, hold on. Don't take no for an answer. I like that. And then what's the second one?
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. That that's so big, because there's so many people out there right now that are afraid to ask for help. And that's one of the things. Even now, I want to, like, because you're going to be part of this caregivers conference, and I don't know, I want to make sure that I'm saying the right thing. It does. Caring for your child, like, I get it when people say I'm my mother's caregiver or I'm my father's caregiver, but is that a term that you would use for being your child's caregiver or your or provider? I don't know. I'm asking because I want to be able to, because it could be offensive to someone to say, I'm my child's, say I'm my child, I'm not his caregiver. You know what I'm saying? I think there's what we all don't know because we don't talk about it. And I think, again, this is why we're having the conference, because we're going to talk about things that nobody's talked about or shed light upon. And so it's like, well, how do you, just like I asked you, is it okay to say is it, what is it? How do you say it where it's not offensive to a parent? And because, you got to be a strong person to be like, okay, this is to be teachable moments. And so I'm asking you to teach me, like, is it offensive to say I'm my child's caregiver, or do you use that term, or what shed some light on that?
So in the world of like, we call it like the neurodiverse community, which is basically just this big umbrella, and you have all these like disorders under that, which would be ADHD, dyslexia, autism, or whatever, right? So we've kind of even gone away from just like autism or just like on the spectrum. It's neurodivergent, right? And then it's just a group of people that they communicate differently, they learn differently, at their own time, their own pace. They all have different behaviors. They all have different needs. And some parents do refer to themselves as caregivers. I totally respect that. I know sometimes in like the autism community, adults that are on the spectrum can sometimes feel a certain way about that, kind of feel offended. So, but for me, I'm just Sincere's mom, and Sincere just happens to have autism, right? And
wait. Wow. Sis, I'm loving that right there. That just like gave me chills. Like wait, like, let's pull that back. I love that. I want you to say that again. Like I can't repeat that for you. Got to say that because that's sure. But that was like
that's my moment.
Yeah, that was like, I was like, we can't move forward. Say that again. Say that again.
Oh, I'm just Sincere's mom. That's
Yeah,
it. I'm just Sincere's mom.
yeah,
And yes, Sincere has autism, but I'm his mother. And I take care of him just like I take care of my other son. But again, their needs are very different.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That just like, it sheds light, and I'm glad we're having this conversation because there's people out there that they need to know, or that it's so. And then this is one of the things that, having the conversation, and even about the caregivers conference, people need to know that it is okay to have conversations. It's okay to like get in a room with people and shed knowledge and share knowledge and information. Like, everybody's story is different, everybody's going through various things, but the thing that we have in common, that everybody's going through something, and we can come together and share and lift each other up and hug each other and say it's going to be okay. And so, with your story, your approach, the things that you're saying, the things that you are shedding light on, is like, oh, I love the fact, because everybody can say, you know what, my child is dealing with this and this, but I'm their parent, and so, and the thing, and what it is what it is, and we're dealing with that, but this is my baby, and so, I think I was sharing with you earlier before we came on, we were backstage, and I'm like, I gotta give shout out to you, because one, being a mother and a strong mom, independent, and I know, because we're not only colleagues, but you are part of our family, so we talk, and so I'm like, man, my sister is strong, and you remind me of experiences that I had with my mother, you know what I'm saying? And people don't get to see you be
Vulnerable.
vulnerable or crying. And
Yeah.
so, like, there's somebody out there who is like, I remember being strong, and you sometimes you have to continue to be strong even when you don't want to be strong. And you still gotta smile, and you still gotta like, everything is okay, and everything on the inside is crumbling, and you still gotta smile, and then you gotta go to work, and then you gotta like smile at work and do the job, while everything behind the curtain, don't look at the man behind the curtain, and you still are doing it. And there's so many people out there who are like faced and living in situations that they don't have any, that they gotta just keep going and pushing every day and every day. And so, I don't see you when you cry, and I don't see you when your back is up against the wall. And I know my sister is a fighter. Like, listen, like, you like, okay, is that what that is? Well, let me put these gloves on. But I want you to talk about your self wellness, because
Okay.
one of the things we're going to talk about in the conference is like, taking care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're no good for the people who rely on you.
Right.
And I think that is a big thing for me when I was in a caregiving situation. And when I look back 20 some years, I'm like, what would I have told the younger me? And I would have said, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So take the moment. So, like, if you can shed some light on like, how does Promise like shake it off, or shake the day, or like, what would you say to somebody who's out there and they feel like they're by themselves, and I and they say, well, I don't have no time for no self wellness. What would you say to somebody? What kind of advice would you give?
Well, the first thing I would say is I can't forget me, because I'm not just anybody, right? And that if I don't help me, that I can't help anyone else. And it's been seasons where my spirit has felt restless and reckless and like not at peace. And you just keep pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, pouring out. And you're like, dang, look in the cup.
Right, right,
What's
right,
coming out? Just air, you know, like it's just
right.
empty. But I would say, you know, being mindful, like mindfulness is very important, and creating a support system. So like even if it's not family, because sometimes we get challenging with family, because if it's something that family, you know, has a lack of knowledge of, or is not, has never seen before, that can get challenging, because as a parent, you constantly like explaining it, and it's just like, okay, right? But it's okay to seek outside support, you know,
Sure.
make friends, right? So when I go out, like at the school, I say, hey, how's it going? How you doing? I set up a play date, you know, I meet the moms at swim or at therapy. I've had teachers ask me, or therapists ask me, like, hey, like, can you connect with this mom? Sincere's regional center coordinator is like, hey, can I give this mom your number? You know, we make friends, you know, like, and that support too, you
Yeah.
know, like like when I'm in nursing school, so the beginning of the semester for 5 weeks, I just was like sad, and I'm like, I can't deal with this, like this is too much, you know. You still gotta get up, like you said, gotta go to work,
Right,
gotta feed the
right.
kids, you gotta put a smile on your face, which is like, it was so much to carry, you know. But I allowed myself to feel, but I didn't allow that to stop the show. So I would
Mm,
say, like,
wait,
allow
wait.
yourself to feel.
Okay, so wait, hold on. You can't be dropping stuff like, oh, okay, thank you. But wait a minute. Back up. You said I allowed myself to feel, but I didn't let what was that?
Oh, I didn't let it stop the show. Like
You
the show
did
must go on, right? We still
the,
gotta do what we gotta do.
the show still must go
Yeah.
on. Listen, I'm like, I'm with you like 100%. I'm like, I understand that because it's all mindset. You know, it's like the thing, you know, like a lot of times people say, how can you do all these things, Kevin? Because up here, I believe there is nothing that I can't do.
Right.
You say, well, you should slow down and you should no 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 no. You can't because it's in me to be like boom 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 boom, because being a caregiver, I remember being in that space and you had to be everything. I had to be everything, so I didn't have time to be like, I can't not cook. You know what I'm saying? Mama needs to, this is bath time. And sometimes my downtime was at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Sometimes and then I got into the routine like, ooh, this is my 11 o'clock is my time. She's sleep, she's bathed, she's fed, and now I'm gonna enjoy. Look, I brought some. Look, I was gonna tell you to get you some candy because you know
I got some tea.
I eat on these interviews because I'm like, listen, because this is a personal conversation, and I brought snacks. But you know, that's when you can do you, you know. And so I'm again, those of you that just tuned in, this is Let's Talk Caregiving with Kevin Milburn. We are talking about we're Promise. Promise is one of our speakers for our conference that's coming up, and I am so excited. If you just tuned in, you need to be there on November 16th. Bam! November 16th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Promise is going to be there. Promise is going to present. She's going to be on the panel and asking questions, because there's so many levels. Like one of the things is that their caregiving comes in so many forms, and there's a lot of people who have cared for their parents for 20 and 30 years and don't know they cared for their parents. They were providing support. Maybe your mom or dad was diabetic and you had to be there with them to help administer stuff, and they don't think that they have been in caregiver mode, but you've been doing it for so long, you don't know that you've been in caregiver mode, you know? And so I think, you know, one thing that I always say is that in this lifetime, either you're going to be a caregiver or you're going to need one. And so the thing of it is that you got to have a conversation now about like, what does it look like in 20 years, or what does it look like, and how can we support our children and our children's children and grandchildren, and there's people that are on a spectrum, and even finding them the help that they need, whatever area that they are on that spectrum. And people don't like want to talk about it, and because and so I am like an advocate, like, guys, we got to talk about this. Our families are impacted by not talking about it, and so I'm just okay. So I just you have got some nuggets. I can't wait for people to read it, because this is like life change, and this is what we do, right, sis? It's like I am so happy that Tanny and I are, and we're a network, we're a village, we're a part of each other's village, and I want to say I'm excited because as the chosen mom, I get that name, I get it, and being chosen to be Sincere's mom, and not only his mom, but you're shedding light in so many areas that's going to help people in their journey, and that the communication, the partnership. I think partnership is so key in life, and when you find the right partners, that's everything. And so I really, so now how do you, not trying to get, how do you navigate, or how did you navigate with, so you got Phil, you got Sincere. How did you prepare Phil? Or I mean, like, let me tell you about my godson though. Now, Phil is strong. Phil is like, and this is why I get it, because I understand what he holds in his hands, and that's what makes him like he's mama's protector. Like he ain't fool, he ain't, and that same protection that he has for mama, he got for Sincere. Like I love seeing the exchange with Phil and Sincere, because Phil loves his brother.
Yeah.
And Sincere loves his brother, but Phil is like, the chest is always like protector. And so I know what that is. When boys love them, I love my mama.
Yeah.
And I watch my boys with their mom. And I get it. Like I get the differences, why to everybody's scenario, and why Phil is like Phil, because I get it. That boy, that's my guy, and I love that. And then I'm like, and it speaks to what you are investing. But I want to go back just a little bit. How did you prepare Phil for this scenario, and how do you, because I'm sure that it can even be emotional for the kids, the brother, the siblings, and we don't talk about that either. We don't. They're like if somebody's gonna be in that space, what advice do you give them to say, this is how I did with my son, this is how I helped him?
I remember talking to Philip, and I was like, Phil, does Sincere give you eye contact? He said, no, not really, Mom. And I was like, I know. I was like, it's just been such a change, because we have so many videos of them like dancing, and like Philip doing some, and then Sincere wants to do it. And then it just stopped, right? So going through the whole process of like creating Sincere's pathway, having the whole checklist, which we'll talk about during the conference, but going down the list, I just made sure that I kept Philip's life as simple as possible, like it was before. He plays football. He still was hanging out with his friends, still, doing this thing, and I was over here doing what I needed to do for Sincere, and I always, I make sure we don't do anything separate. We're always together, and Philip always tells me, he's like, it's okay, Mom. He sees me in my most vulnerable states because we're always here, He's like, don't worry, Mom. I'll take care of Sincere. I got Sincere. And he'll be like, Sincere will be cool. Don't baby him. He'll be fine. So he is a wonderful son, a wonderful brother. But I'm always making sure that I am mindful that he is seen too, because I don't want him to feel like it's all about what's going on with Sincere.
I got it. That's so good. And I can't wait. We're going to address that at the conference. And it's so amazing because this is the first time that we're having this topic at the conference. And I am like floored with the response of the people who are like, I'm coming for, and I'm like, wow, like, wow, and so again, thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being the advocate and the outstanding mother. And I know that you don't get enough thank yous, but thank you for what you do for your beautiful sons. Thank you. I know the journey hasn't been easy. I know that it's not been rough, and we're people of faith, so you already know. Right. You already know what's up. You already know. And so I'm excited about your future and what this looks like. I'm excited about the books that are going to come from you and the traveling that's going to happen and the speaking that's going to happen. And I'm excited to say I get a front seat.
Yes.
In this to look and see. And so I'm so grateful for you, sis. I'm grateful. I love my Sincere and my Phil. We love them, and we miss Phil every morning though. I miss the doorbell ringing, and so I'm just really just excited about the conference. For those of you that just tapped in on tonight, this is Let's Talk Caregiving with Kevin Milburn. This is Promise Freeman. She's going to be a part of the conference on Saturday, November 16th. And I want to encourage everybody to get your ticket. Go on to Eventbrite. And it's the Family Caregivers Conference, November. And November is National Family Caregivers Month. And so we've always had it during this month to recognize family caregivers. Again, I always say, if you're in this lifetime, you will either need a caregiver or be a caregiver. I'm not professing something. I had someone be like, well, that's like saying I'm going to be sick. And I'm like, no, because guess what? When you got your wisdom teeth pulled, guess somebody made you soup and you needed somebody to care. That's the caregiver. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not professing anything, but it's like making the awareness that everybody needs a support system. Everybody needs a village, no matter where you are in your say. If you have an operation, guess what you need so that you can recover? You need somebody to be at home with you. And so at the conference, we're going to talk about so many different scenarios, having the conversation for those adults or senior parents with adult children, and you haven't had the conversation. You better have the conversation. You got to have the conversation. And then to the adult children, the importance of partnering with your parents. Your parents are still your parents, and they are still they're not like your children. So you can't be like, now you're old and now you're going to do it my way. So we're going to talk about all these great things at the conference. I am excited. Promise, thank you for being a part of this. And next year is even going to be greater. I hope you'll be with us next year. You'll probably be traveling around the world, but I'm like, Promise, I need you
to miss it.
One of the we have great partnerships in those of you who don't know about Caring Hearts Network. Caring Hearts Network is my nonprofit that I established 5 years ago, and it is, I'm not genius enough to think about things, but it just came to me, a caring heart. So that's why I would say, hi, caring hearts, because it is a network and everybody needs a village. Everybody needs a connection. Everybody needs to have the discussion, not be ashamed of the caregiving conversation. We need to undergird our villages and spread them big and spread them wide and join together to help each other, because it's not easy. I remember being a caregiver, and I remember crying, and I remember being strong when I didn't want to be strong, and I remember having breakdowns in the car on my way to work, and then smiling, and so we need to talk about mental wellness, self wellness, taking care of yourself. It is okay to take a break.
Yes.
Okay to take a break. You can give yourself permission to go take a break. You can give yourself permission to go and have your favorite coffee or have your favorite caramel. I mean, you just do it, And so I'm excited to be the host and founder of this conference this year. We're going to the next level. We're going to be talking about life balances and things that you should be considering while you are in the caregiving situation, and that's being financially strong. One of the things that I didn't think about futuristically, I was so polarized by the moment of being a caregiver, I didn't think about my future. I wasn't thinking about money, saving money, or anything. I was in there and I'm living paycheck to paycheck and doing what I had to do. And so I think it's really shedding light on all the areas so that people can come up from the being drowned in life situation and be able to like, okay, listen, be able to see something. So I'm like, one of the things that I would have told myself is snap out of it.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Like snap out of it, because I was so in the situation and I was so polarized. I cannot believe this is happening to my mother, and why my mom, and and all the noise from the experience. Well, I said, I told my snap out of it, snap out of it, so I can see clearly. And so on tonight, those of you that might be here and be like trying to figure it out, I'm like, snap out of it so you can see, move, blow the fog away. And so that you can be like, hey, listen, okay, there's a brighter day, and there's always somebody who's been through what we've been through, and now they're on the other side of it, who can speak and say, you gonna don't you give up. Don't you give up. And so this is our way tonight of being on the track. We're running. And I'm like, go Promise, and Promise saying, go Kev, go Kev. So we're all together. And so as we end this wonderful, wonderful interview, I can't thank you enough for being a part. And you know what? And I think what we need to do futuristically is that we need to have another Let's Talk Caregiving with Kevin Milburn, and let's like talk about it and take it even broader. We can talk about self-wellness, but I want to follow up with you on the journey, how you are, how things are going. There's so many people contacting you. I'm like, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. So as we end tonight, I want to thank everybody who's out here online, those of you who liked, those of you who shared. Again, don't forget to be a part of the conference on November 16th. My dear sister Promise is gonna be in the house, and she's gonna be sharing. She's the chosen mom. She's gonna be sharing more about her story, and she's gonna give you some tips. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait. And so to end this on tonight, one of our partners, our musical partners, who's been a part of the conference since its inception, is our sister, my sister, my wife. I got to know Charmel through my wife, but I claim her now because our birthdays are in September. So that's my September sister. She did a video for last year's conference. She's going to be doing a video this year, but she did a video for last year's conference, and I always use it and I play it because it is a right now song for us. you know. And so I'm going to play this as we're getting ready to go on tonight. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Promise Freeman. This is Let's Talk Caregiving with Kevin Milburn. I am Kevin Milburn, and I am excited that you gave us some time to talk caregiving with you on tonight. Thank you. I want to encourage you to stay tuned because we have some more shows that are going to be coming up there. We have these, I'm going to move real fast, but these are the next ones up for talking about caregiving. And so I'm really excited. They're going to be at the conference. They're going to be talking. Get ready because we're going to be showing you how to exercise, how to mental wellness, not tricks, but recipes to help you. And so I am excited. But on tonight, guys, as we end this wonderful show, thank you again, Promise. And we're going to show a video of my dear sister, Charmel, as she does her rendition of What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love.
Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now, it's love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. The world needs now. World needs now. What the world needs now. World needs we need love. Needs now. Love. World needs now. The world needs now. We need it. World needs now. What the world needs now. World needs we now. Need love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for being a part of the show tonight. Thank you, Promise. And we'll talk soon, guys. Good night.